Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Semoskiy Winter again. Great. Our heroes today are going to be Incompetent, playing for the Soviets. And we have EC155, playing for the Germans. So, Incompetent is the person that submitted this replay, so thank you for that. Also, thank you for sending it in as a Semoskiy Winter replay. That's great. You know, I love the map, and I was itching at a chance to cast it again, right? Yeah. Whatever, I guess it's not your fault, man. Maybe you didn't see the sheer amount of replays that I put on the Semoskiy Winter. But regardless, I mean, there's really not much of a choice. There aren't any replays out there just yet because, well, still, the sites haven't actually gotten updated. Not exactly sure what's going on there. But yeah, it's slim pickings. Yeah, I could go through the tournament replays there, but I'm not sure I want to do it for this round. But maybe I'll grab one or two from there, just just to spice things up. But anyways, back to the map. Build order wise, we see that Incompetent selected his doctrine, and that is the defensive tactics, the newer doctrine that got released, one of the free commanders. And we see that he got himself the heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun is quite nice. A lot of people like it, and it is apparently derping in the church. What the hell's going on there?
Our unit count is increasing.
Okay. So they all decided that if they can't see the enemy by looking at a wall, the enemy can't see them. I think that's the line of thought there. I don't know what the hell's going on with that HMG. Anyways, ECC for his part, we see him getting, tier 1 like you would usually expect, and getting Grenadiers and MG42 from tier 1. MG42 already in the center of the field, jumping into that house, gonna shoot at those combat engineers. The combat engineers for their side decide to jump into the house and will take some fire. Unfortunately, the heavy MG is still looking at the wall of the church and is not able to return fire, even though, well, fighting from house to house will really not accomplish much as far as damage goes, but, well, could have at least helped out a little bit, I suppose. Down south, we see conscripts engaging against Grenadiers. The conscripts take the losing end of that fight right there and decide to run into the house. They will take cover inside of it and deny the Grenadiers the ability to capture this territory. They did themselves capture that fuel, but the south is not currently connected for Incompetent, so that fuel is not gathering him any resources. Up north, we see the Pyos retreating in the face of another conscript squad, and we see the combat engineers moving in that direction as well. Probably just going to be using them to capture territory as well. Center of the map, Grenadiers move into the victory point, and the MG42 is still looking in the wrong direction, and is now getting shot in the back. Has taken a little bit of damage. Grenadiers positioning themselves a little bit better, and will continue to open fire. Now the HMG notices, oh, I am not inside the house as I previously thought. Let's go ahead and jump in there, set up that heavy machine gun, and open fire. Heavy machine gun not actually setting up at the top, it's setting up over here. There we go. Machine gun opens fire. Suppression goes in on the Grenadiers quite instantly, because it is a 50 cal machine gun. And the Grenadiers are going to take quite a beating unless they retreat. They are now pinned down. They need to retreat. There they go. They're off. Down south, conscripts decide to retreat. Looks like they might have actually ran into those Grenadiers. And
It's done.
what was that? Ooh, a mine. Very nice. Incompetent laying down some mines. Those are the anti-personnel mines that get unlocked with this doctrine. They are quite brutal, quite effective, and, well, some would argue, or most would agree, that they're quite broken. They cost 7 munitions to lay down, and they actually do kill units. They won't wipe a squad by themselves, but you can lay down so many of them even in a row that it's very easy to guarantee a squad wipe if the opponent is not paying attention. And they only cost 7 munitions, so yeah, you can spam them all over the place, and, well, you probably should if you're selecting this doctrine. But I'm pretty sure that's going to get changed. I mean, probably this. There you go. You see mine hitting there. There goes one hit and down one man. They continue to move forward, and there are how many mines around here? The thing is, we can't select it. There's just one right there. Well, two, but it's just one itself.
We have it.
That's weird. But yeah, I mean, those mines are a little bit too cheap right now. They need a little bit of an increase there. The effect of them is fine. They're designed as anti-personnel, but I believe vehicles can trigger them, but they don't take any damage for them. I mean, to them. But yeah, Quite nice. So anyways, engagements all over the place. We now see that ECC has done a supremely heavy investment. It's in his tier 1. We have 4 Grenadiers, an MG42, and a mortar already on the field. Mortar very popular to see nowadays, especially because of that heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun is quite good, very good actually. Does cost a lot. It is 360 munitions, so it's essentially a sniper or a penal battalion. But it is, well, very good. Very worth it, I would say. Not exactly sure about getting more than 1. I mean, I suppose 2 is okay. Can't really spam them considering their costs are very prohibitive, but yeah, it's a very nice heavy machine gun that is only available in that commander currently. Conscripts up north are engaging that Grenadier squad. The combat engineers took a beating, although they are still at 4 men. Very low in health, each of those men, but the conscripts move up and are now brutalizing that Grenadier. Down to 1 man on the retreat and gets shot, executed, and down goes an entire Grenadier squad for ECC, so that evens up a little bit thing for Incompetent. Incompetent now has 2 heavy machine guns on the field, both in the center actually. One right there getting bombarded by the mortar. Conscripts pushing forward onto the victory point, and the other heavy machine gun sets up in the heavy cover of the wall, although they are now getting flanked by an LMG equipped Gren. They need to turn around very quickly, and they will not. The heavy machine gun is not getting micro right now, but with the heavy machine gun in the church, the suppression goes down, and this heavy machine gun decides to retreat. I don't think it was necessary for it to retreat at that point, considering that it was already being covered by the other machine gun. But Incompetent doesn't want to take the risk of giving one of those very nice looking weapons, well, not looking, but very nice weapons, to the enemy. So the mortar continued to go to town onto that church. The church taking quite a beating, down to 4 men. All men exit out of the front. Very risky maneuver there. They get shot by the mortar in that spot, and all of them would die in one blast. But luckily for them, it didn't happen. Medic's now in the field for Incompetent. He is healing up his units before he sends them out on the field. And he is very lax in his tier 1 tech so far. Although, no, not really. Already up to 3 conscripts and 2 heavy machine guns. That's actually quite a decent investment, especially with the heavy machine guns, because they are very, very costly in manpower. We now see Incompetent getting himself tier 1. So we'll see if he gets anything from tier 1, or if he's going to use it as a tier 1 to tier 3 is the most usual thing you see in this setup because of that doctrine. It gives you the light AT gun, which even though it's not as good as this, as far as damage goes, you know, it gives you the option. Also, heavy machine gun does have the not anti-vehicle, the armor-piercing rounds, essentially, so it allows it to get some damage in. Even though it's very low, you know, it gives you a little bit more of a flexibility, so it's not as risky to go to tier 3 for a T70, which is what you would see. So conscripts up north going for the cutoff here. They're only going to be able to cut off 1 point, so it doesn't really do much. Center of the map, we see conscripts and the heavy machine gun supporting each other. The heavy machine gun in the church did evacuate and is back at base, currently getting reinforced. Yeah, there it is. And center of the map, the conscripts are just pushing around. We have more conscripts over here on the southern side getting, well, very, very battered. Down to 3 men, very low health, now retreating. Not exactly sure what happened to them. Maybe they got killed by... No? Might have been the mortar. Let's see how many kills the mortar actually has. No? 2 kills. So not exactly sure what killed those conscripts. The Grants over here are very high in health and have no kills. I almost think they might have ran over a mine, but I don't see any explosions. But oh well. Anyways, conscripts in the center of the map, Urang past the house to get on the flank of that MG42 inside. They're going to get right on top of it, throw a Molotov, and try to burn it out. The MG42 inside the house is now opening up on them, doing a lot of damage. The Molotov does land right on top of the troops in this side of the house, so it's doing a lot of damage to them, but they are also in heavy snow, which means they, you know, they're warm now. So no, it doesn't look like the Molotov landed in an optimal position. It actually landed a little bit too far into the house. So the men of the MG42 didn't end up taking too much damage. The men over here switched position once the conscripts ended up retreating, and that actually did finally some damage to them, but unfortunately for the conscripts, a little bit too late and not enough. Heavy machine gun over here on the right-hand side catches a Grenadier out in the open, doing a lot of damage as it retreats. But it will be able to get back home just fine. No medic bunker on the base for ECC, so he is not going to be able to get them healed up. But it wasn't that much damage, so it should be fine. Fuel cache getting dropped by those Pyos. Pyos going to run into the conscripts. The conscripts will deal with those Pyos quite effectively. LMG equipped Grants over here on the fuel point will run into another heavy machine gun. Well, the other heavy machine gun is what I'm trying to say. Heavy machine gun sits up in the house, but the Grunts are now moving out to support their Pios. The Pios are getting shot by the conscripts. Down to 3 men now. The Grenadiers are opening up on the conscripts after they move. The conscripts will lose that fight. Even though they are Pios, they will jump into the house, getting themselves a superior defensible position. And the Grunts have an LMG, which will rip them to shreds. And here goes. Grunts starts firing. Conscripts Ura to try to get away. They do. One goes down. Conscripts continue to run towards the Pios. They will get right on top of them and throw a Molotov. The Pios will evacuate the house. There they go. And a very nice Molotov there. Actually not sure if it was tossed onto the door or if it was just too close to the wall, but did a lot of damage. Look, actually burned one of the guys already outside the house. Heavy machine gun in this house does a lot of damage to this Grenadier squad. Down to 1 man on the retreat. 3 other men get actually caught right there and mauled. And on the right hand side, conscripts are just capturing. So Tier 1 went down. Nothing has come out of Tier 1, so like I said, it's probably just a stepping stone. He does have enough fuel to build anything, Tier 1 or Tier 4, depending on what he wants. But Incompetent decides to get himself the 120mm mortar. That comes again with the Doctrine, which is even more expensive now, 400 manpower, because it was, well, it's just too strong. It also got a reduced effectiveness of range, even though it still has more range than any other mortar, but it did got a little bit cut down there. Nice Molotov there by the conscripts, clears out that MG42. The Grenadiers have no option but to run away. If they had recruited that MG42, they would have, well, essentially died completely. And the MG42 was engulfed in flames, which means more men would have ended up dying, also getting shot by the conscripts and the heavy machine gun. So quite unfortunate there for ECC. He lost an MG42 that could get recruited right now by Incompetent, although he does have his heavy machine gun, so he probably doesn't even care. But, you know, it's probably a good idea to take it, not let it fall back in the hands of the enemy. Conscripts over here, taking the cutoff. Cutoff will really only, you know, cut off this point and the victory point in the center. Heavy machine gun over here has not been used to capture the point. It's still just garrisoned in that house, denying the territory or the area. But the LMG Grunts move through the north or far north and are going to go for the victory point. Back at base, no tech so far. Still no tech. A lot of manpower getting floated here by Incompetent. And ECC is getting himself nothing. I thought he was going to be getting some tech, but no, still only Tier 1. So a very, very heavy investment or prolonged Tier 1 engagement here for both players. There are 4 Grenadiers and a mortar right now on the field for EC155. And Incompetent has 3 conscripts, 2 heavy machine guns, a mortar, and 1 combat engineers. There we go. Combat engineers now finally dropping down Tier 4. So very interesting. He's going to go for the safe route, being able to get S285s out there if necessary. Also, I guess I never mentioned it. He selected very early, so yeah, sorry about that. EC155 actually got himself the Jaeger Infantry Doctrine, so yeah. Can't really do much with it right now. He can get G43s on his Grenadiers if he wanted to, but he hasn't actually done that. He has preferred the LMG route. So yeah. I guess he has the camo abilities, I suppose, but that's about it. So anyways, big push here on the southern or right-hand side for EC155. He brings all his Grens, and, well, not all of them, 3 Grens, and a mortar down south, manages to push away that heavy machine gun. It is, actually, no, it was a conscript ball. Where's the heavy machine gun? That's over here in the center of the map, just holding that territory. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of a glitch there on the UI, but nothing we can't overlook, right? Right? Nobody noticed, right? Okay. Anyways. The Grenadiers over here capturing territory, going for the victory points. EC155 trying to stop the bleed. He's actually ahead in victory point-wise. Incompetent is now down to 350, while EC155 is still at 450, so he has a nice 100-point lead, and capturing 2 of the points is still going to be bleeding Incompetent in his victory points. As far as tech goes, we now see that Tier 3 has gone down for EC155. He is getting himself a Panzer IV, and like if he had read his mind, Incompetent is getting himself an Su-85. So that Su-85 will be able to counter that Panzer IV quite effectively, unless, you know, not micro properly or not supported. And he also has a Su-76 queued up after that. So very nice. Like to see Su-76. It's a little bit, I don't know, of an unfortunate unit that doesn't get used a lot because, well, it's in a little of an awkward situation. It is a support weapon that doesn't do a lot of damage to armor. It does do damage, obviously, but it doesn't do incredible damage, like, say, an AT gun's damage. And its main firing gun doesn't do really anything against infantry. I mean, it can get some kills, just like an Su-85 can get some kills on infantry every now and then, but it doesn't really get kills on this on infantry. And then it has an artillery barrage ability that doesn't have that great range, and it does have very decent damage and not a lot of spread, depending on the distance, I suppose. But it's really the primary use of it. Oh no, the combat engineer's laying down a mine right in front of the Panzer IV. They do get pushed away. The Panzer IV is trying to run them down, and they decide to retreat. Mine does get cleared out by a mortar, it looks like. And the heavy machine gun is opening up on the Panzer IV. Heavy machine gun does have the ability to use armor-piercing rounds, which could have been activated there and allowed the heavy machine gun to do some damage to the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV will not take any damage in this situation. Everything is getting routed out of the field for Incompetent, but here comes the Su-85. The Panzer IV is now backing off and will back off out of sight. Su-85 will not be able to get some shots off on it. And if the Su-85 continues, oh no, I think the Su-85 might have been clicked to attack. No, this is a very risky maneuver. There is no infantry nearby to support either of the tanks. There is some Grens moving onto the field right now that the Su-85 is going to have to be careful of because it could get Fausted. Su-85 notices the Panzer IV, takes a shot. There you go. 2 shots to the rear armor. The Panzer IV does do some damage, but the Su-85 is continuing to back off, keeping its forward gun aimed at the Panzer IV, and there we go. Nice pickup there for Incompetent. Nails the Panzer IV, and, well, he now has armor superiority on the field. So anyways, I was saying about the Su-76. The Su-76 is very awkward, like I said. Its main gun does do damage to armor, but it doesn't really have that great range and that much damage, really, and is very easily taken out by things like Panzer IVs. And the artillery barrage, while great, doesn't have a lot of range, and you know it's a little bit limited. So when you want, if you want artillery, people pretty much just get a Katusha instead. It's a good unit, I like it, but unfortunately, you know, it feels a bit awkward. Anyways, so the Su-85 backs off once it sees those Grens. We now have conscripts on top of the Grens, but Grens have LMGs and there's 2 versus 1. Even with that Molotov, although very nice Molotov, lands on one of those Grenadiers and burns him instantly. But with the LMG, those conscripts will lose. They need to retreat. Su-76 on the field, going over to the right-hand side, going to try to dislodge that MG42, I would assume. So not a bad usage of it. And the heavy machine gun is now hitting the center of the map, and it's going straight onto those Grens. The Grens just simply walk out of its arc of fire and get themselves into the church. And the heavy machine gun is now, well, useless. There we go, opens up on those Grens. Down goes one man, the other guy gets suppressed, but it's now out of the arc of fire of the heavy machine gun. LMG going to town on the men of the machine gun, and this Gren is dead. Yeah, this guy's not gonna make it out alive. Nope. Tried to throw rifle nade at it, but that only spelled doom. LMG in the house. Ooh, taking quite a beating there by the mortar, the 120mm mortar for Incompetent. And up north, we see the heavy machine gun and some conscripts just capturing territory, even though the victory point is not currently capped. We have the mortar, grenadiers all over the place over here. And we have another Su-85 getting produced for Incompetent. So not wanting to lose the superior position in the map. And yeah, that's what I mean about the Su-76. The barrage ability is really why you want it most of the time. And, well, unfortunately, it has a cooldown, and, you know, it's good, though. Like I said, I like it, but it's an awkward. So, engagements here and there. Up north, the heavy machine gun just ripping those grenadiers. Heavy machine gun and the conscripts getting bombarded by the German mortar up north. German mortar now up to veterancy 2. And I believe I should be able to check those stats very quickly. Let's see if it actually works out. The mortar at veterancy 1 gets minus 20% scatter and a 40% reduction in the recharge of the abilities, which I'm getting is the barrage ability. So very nice, very nice. All it says here is battlefield server increased shell accuracy and rate of fire. So it reduces the scatter, and the rate of fire that it's talking about is the recharge on the ability, the barrage. So the more we learn, right? The more we know. So Su-76 right here on the front of the base. Not exactly sure why it's in the front of the base. Like I said, it's not really that good against infantry, so it's get overwhelmed by infantry very quickly. So now moving over here to the right-hand side, we have these conscripts getting pinned down by that MG42. The SU-76 is going to move in and throw a barrage at it, I would assume. The standard fire won't really do anything. There we go. Barrage ability nailing the house. Kills one of the MG42 guys inside. Second shot lands. More damage onto the house. Very nice damage onto the house. Conscript's getting pinned down again. And one more shot. Down to one man. But with the Grenadier coming up on the SU-76, the SU-76 decides to back off. SU-85's in the center of the map. Grenadiers all over the place. So Incompetent still losing in the victory point wise. 271 to 448. He now has 2 victory points to his name. But this point will get very easily captured by EC155. Fuel down south getting captured again. SU-76 in the center. Conscript going for that point. But again, we have Grenadiers up on the northern left-hand side victory point. So EC155 actually doing a pretty good job as far as victory points. He is guaranteeing himself, time, essentially. He is in a losing point, and now we see Incompetent getting himself 2 snipers at once. He was floating a lot of manpower as well as, some fuel right now. So he decides to spend it in snipers. It's an okay choice. I like snipers. And if you can pick up some kills on the squads with those snipers, not actual, just unit kills, killing off Grenadier squads, that will make Incompetent's job a lot easier and guarantee him those victory points. Still has a lot of time though, so I guess he's fine. Conscripts over here now, Veteran C2. Veteran C2, it says advanced rifle training improves weapon accuracy, which is probably true. But I'm not gonna go digging for stats right now, sorry. I was told not to. Anyways, SU-76 in the center, taking some shots at those Grens. The Grens not really suffering much to the SU-76. The Conscript's actually doing the heavy work here. Down to 2 men, forced to retreat, and off they go. Another Panzer IV on the field for EC155. That Panzer IV is back at base. So both players actually having a little bit of an issue with their what am I trying to say? Not hotkeys, waypoints, rally points is what I'm trying to say. So snipers over here on the northern side. Could potentially go try to take out that mortar, but not sure if that's what we're wanting to do. Heavy machine gun going up to the northern house. Not even stopping because it was getting shot. Molotov landing on the Grens. The Grens taking quite a beating, down to 2 men. Sniper over here, just taking position over there, not being used to attack. And we have the German infantry retreating through the sniper. The snipers should be able to take some shots, and they do. Down goes one Pioneer, not the right squad that you wanted to shoot at, but unfortunately no control there. Nasty shot there by the, what was it actually? Mortar? Maybe. SU-76 collapses that house, and squads just retreat through the ice. More snipers on the field. So Incompetent is in a very strong position here. He has pretty much everything he needs to seal the deal. But obviously he's going to be a little bit more reluctant to do so. He is going to be more cautious and just securing position. Unfortunately though, for Incompetent, he is not doing a very good job at controlling the victory point. EC155 is being able to continue to cap 2 most of the time, still draining Incompetent's point, so he is not able to put himself in a advantageous position. Sniper in the center, so Incompetent splitting up his snipers a little bit. He sent one into the graveyard and is currently cloaked. 2 Grenadier squats out on the front of the base. We have Conscripts and the MG42 over here. The 2 Conscripts move up, they shoot the gunner, throw a Molotov right on top of it, and there goes the MG42, down to 2 men, down to 1. Even if it packs up, it's gonna die. You should die. You're not gonna die? Wow, it's not gonna die. Conscript shooting at the MG42 as it retreats, but it makes it out alive. Veteran C1 giving it that incendiary rounds ability, which is quite nice. Heavy machine gun crosses the river, sets up right in front of the Grenadiers, will suppress them with that initial burst, and the Grenadiers are getting killed quite brutally by that MG42. Now pinned down, MG42 focuses on the other squad, sets up again, shoots at the other squad, and no, sets up once again, there we go, shoots at the other squad, get the suppression, and the Grenadiers over here will break the pin down in a second. MG42, heavy machine gun in a little bit of a tough spot. It is surrounded now by Gren, so another Gren squad coming up on top of it. It doesn't know exactly what it wants to do, it just continues to move around. putting down a pin on the second squad, down to 1 man, but with more men dying every time. Heavy machine gun decides to just simply retreat. It's trying to pack up, but it's getting shot by that LMG. Down to 2 men on the retreat. I don't think it's actually going to make it out alive. Too many grunts nearby. No. The LMG decides to reload, so it makes it out alive. So very lucky there. Sniper in the center moves up and is taking some shots at something. No. Could execute that Veteran C2 squad. That would be a very nice pickup over here. Molotov landing on Grunt squad. 1-man Grunt squad is actually in the fire. Gets executed, or well, burned alive. Conscript retreating in between all the grunts and the flames. Down to 1 man on the retreat. Gets shot, and that's it. Sniper over here is just in the open. Negative cover, in fact. Not exactly sure what it's doing there. Mortar for EC155 retreated and is now setting up on the right-hand side of the map. And we see Incompetent just capturing territory on the north. Su-76 and Su-85 just sprinkle across the map, you know, just to have something somewhere. And we now see EC155 going for his second Panzer IV. With the second Panzer IV and the fact that Incompetent has split up his Su-85s, this should give him the opportunity to, well, swing it back in his favor. Infantry-wise, Incompetent is actually in a less than favorable position. He has lost one of his MG42s, or well, not MG42s, heavy machine gun, sorry. Where did it get lost? I don't know, but it's lost. It is not anywhere anymore. And he does have 2 snipers, but he's now down to 2 conscript squads only, and 1 combat engineer that is currently building tier 3. Su-76 trying to shoot grenadiers as much as it wants to, but not accomplishing much. Barrage going wide. Faust going off on the Su-76, breaking the engine, and the Su-76 will just continue to back off. Snipers moving into the center. A little bit of a risky maneuver there. They will jump into the church, so once in the church, they will be able to shoot at these grenadiers quite easily. There we go. Well, down goes one of the grenadiers. Grenadiers decide to start taking shots at the snipers inside the house. Rifle nade goes down and doesn't do anything. Retreating down to 1 man. Sniper taking aim and no. Okay. Well, sniper spared his life. Su-76 in the center, still with a damaged engine, needs to get some repairs. Tier 3 now on the field for Incompetent, so maybe he'll get himself, I don't know, T-34s? Yeah, he's going for T-34s. Queued up 2 of them, in fact. And we shall see how that works out. Pioneers over here on the right-hand side, still holding the point. Now, with the victory point decapped, we actually see a stop on the bleed of points. And Incompetent just moving around his conscripts around. We do have 1 Su-85 in the center with the support of an Su-76 that isn't going to be able to do much. It will do some damage, but not what it needs to. Mine getting hit in the center of the road, it looks like, so this Panzer IV is actually going to go down, although Su-76, no, it does actually kill it before that. Second Su-85 now finally moving in to support the original Su-85, which is now Veteran C2, but it will die. There it goes. Nice shots go down, and the Panzer IV does take a lot of damage. Gets a death on the gunner on top. And the Su-76 moves in to try to support, although it's not aiming. It stops in a very awkward angle. Will get shot by the Panzer IV, taking a lot of damage. There we go. Manages to get 1 shot off on the Panzer IV. Can he get off a second? It does get off a second. It bounces, and the Panzer IV executes the Su-76. Now we do see the actually no, the T-34 is the one that makes it in time and will be the one to finish off the Panzer IV. Su-85 now only now finally arrives and well, doesn't really manage to do much. MG42 in the center moving in. The T-34 shoots it away. Says, you know what, this is my town. And well, EC155 did manage to pick up a kill on one of the Su-85s. But unfortunately for him, there are now 3 T-34s on the field, plus an Su-85 that Incompetent has, which means that he could just simply roll into his base because there's nothing on the field for EC155 to stop him with. He does have grenadiers that will do Faust damage, but he doesn't have tier 2, and without tier 2, that means no packs. And with no packs, you're dead. And I think Incompetent knows this, or is noticing it. Well, no. He sends a T-34 right in front of the base. Well, he's actually going for it now. He's going straight forward. Gets to the bunker, and we'll start shooting the bunker. If he takes down this bunker, the forward approach of the base is going to be completely open. This bunker does not cover this approach. So the infantry could actually move in to start harassing and doing a lot of damage. One of the snipers also got killed at some point for Incompetent. Didn't really notice it, but doesn't seem to be much of a problem here considering the amount of tanks that Incompetent has. Grens try to move in to engage the T-34. T-34 tries to turn around to shoot him, but it decides to focus again on the bunker and take it down to open that approach. So we have conscripts and combat engineers now right in front of the base. Nice shot there by the T-34. Actually nails 3 other grenadiers. And a second T-34 moves in, takes another shot, and down goes the entire grenadier squad. Grenadiers out in the open in the eyes, getting shot by both, well, 3 tanks actually. There is an S-35. Very nice barrage there. Artillery barrage by Incompetent. Nails, well, actually only nails one of the combat engineers. The T-34 did take a hit, but didn't actually do much. Su-85 getting shot a little bit as well. So 2 T-34s now in the base for Incompetent. We have a Panzer IV coming out for EC155, although it is rallied up to the north. Not exactly sure where it's going. We do have another T-34 up in the north, which can intercept that Panzer IV. And another bunker is now down for the base of EC155, so it looks like Incompetent will be going for the base. Well, not base race, annihilation, because, yeah. T-34 over here in the north, harassing that mortar. The Panzer IV now moves into support and takes a shot at the conscript. The conscript getting shot by grenadiers. Grenadiers veteran C2 will take a Molotov to the face, probably? No. Looks like the micro is elsewhere right now. Nasty shot there. Oh, very nice ram there by the T-34. It kills that gun on the Panzer IV, so the Panzer IV is now toast. The Su-85 could move to hunt it down, or hell, even a T-34, but it looks like, yeah, he's going to side with the Su-85, which is the better choice because it can kill it a lot quicker, and the T-34s are way better at killing infantry than the Su-85. The Panzer IV is trying to run away as much as it can. Conscripts over here did get executed, however, so Incompetent doesn't have a lot of infantry in the field, and victory point-wise, he is down to 215, but with 1 point captured, he is only bleeding 1 point at a time, and with all those units in the base, I mean, those tanks in the base, he should be fine. Su-85 moves over here and misses the Panzer IV, so it is unable to kill it. Does stay in range to be able to cover the T-34, and we see Incompetent building himself a combat engineer squad after the conscripts popped up, of course. Base getting laid into by Incompetent. Tier 3 gonna be going down in a little bit to those T-34s. This Grenadiers over here just getting reinforced, throwing Faust as often as they can on the T-34s, but now getting shot once again. Just draining some manpower there, but, well, Incompetent does have a lot of manpower, and if he had, Tier 2, could have built themselves a lot of pack guns, but unfortunately he did not. So, Grenadiers pushing forward, and Tier 1 actually now getting bombarded, or well, not bombarded, but assaulted. The T-34s continue to shoot at everything they can. Grenadiers trying as much as they can. We have the heavy machine gun over here, it's just moving around. It is going to run into the MG42. Down goes Tier 2, and the base sector is the only thing left for EC155, so the sooner Incompetent kills that, the sooner we are done. One thing that you probably notice here is that you do not actually need to kill the bunkers to no, as far as I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All you need to do is kill the base buildings themselves. Pyos moving in, trying to repair the the building, but getting shot by the T-34s. More Pyos getting called in. Trying to spam it. Down goes a Pyo, and the base sector will be getting killed in a second. There it goes. So let's see, is that actually? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I mean, you have the bunker right here, which still alive, but you know that doesn't matter, even though there's a cache over here. So yeah, if you get your base buildings themselves destroyed, that's it. So anyways, yeah, that's about it. Again, before I mention anything for the outro, I hate you, Incompetent. Why did you give me this map? I didn't want to cast this map again in a long while. But, again, it's not his fault, and it's, well, slim pickings right now. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send them, me, send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.